All right, hello and welcome back to the channel. As you can see from the title, what we're going to be covering today is how to escape the matrix and reclaim your life. Now, I want to make it clear before we even start this video that me making this video doesn't mean that I have necessarily gone through all of these things and achieved all of these things. We're all on the same path and we might be on different stages of that path, but this is just my interpretation of every step of the way in which you achieve that freedom and you escape the matrix. So with that being said and that being clear, as you can see from the overview, what we're going to be covering today is first the overview itself, distraction freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom, people freedom, purpose alignment, and then the review and your action items for the day or the next few days. So, with that being said, these are all the steps that you will probably have to take in order to be free and quote unquote escape the matrix. So, let's start with the first one, which is distraction freedom. So freedom means nothing if your mind is hijacked. You can have all the money, you can have all the time, you can have all the mobility in the world, but if your focus is scattered, your nervous system is fried, and your self-control is shattered, you're still not free. You're just a prisoner in a prettier environment. So most people aren't chained by jobs anymore. They're chained by habits. Habits shaped by algorithms, ultra-processed dopamine loops, and invisible addictions that mostly run on autopilot. If you don't claim back your focus, the matrix wins. And this time, it's not through cubicles and commutes, it's through TikTok, sugar, porn, and doom scrolling. And this is the fight for your mind and your identity. So the chemical that used to keep you alive and now keeps you enslaved is dopamine. Dopamine is supposed to reward meaningful effort, like building, connecting, or solving problems. But now it's short-circuited. You can hit the reward button without doing anything hard, and that shortcut kills your drive. When you flood your brain with easy dopamine through porn, fast food, cheap spikes, and constant novelty, your baseline drops. You lose the ability to feel joy from real life. The gym bores you, deep work feels impossible, and conversations feel flat. So you don't need to be a full-blown addict to be enslaved, actually. If you can't go 24 hours without reaching for your phone, binge watching nonsense, or numbing yourself with food, you're already hooked, and it's costing you your future. So your phone isn't a tool, it's a slot machine in your pocket. That's at least how most people use their phones. Every app is engineered to literally pull you in and keep you there. Infinite scroll, autoplay, red notifications, they are not accidental. You are the product, and your attention is being sold. Turn off every notification that isn't mission critical. Remove every app that serves no purpose other than numbing you. And delete the shortcuts to distraction. Create friction, use website blockers, turn your phone grayscale, put it in another room while you work. You don't rise by having more willpower. You rise by needing less of it. And you only need less willpower when you're not surrounded by slot machines. So if you never feel bored, you're in trouble. Constant stimulation makes real life feel intolerable. You crave noise, novelty, dopamine hits, and entertainment 24/7. When you remove them, you feel lost. And that's the withdrawal. That's the real you waking up again. Boredom is not some kind of a bug. It means your dopamine receptors are healing. It means you're rebalancing. So sit in that silence. Let your nervous system slow down. Let yourself feel again. When you break the stimulation loop, you reconnect to reality. Suddenly, a walk feels refreshing. Reading feels nourishing. Deep work feels satisfying. You remember who you were before you got hijacked. Everything you consume is either medicine or poison. Highly processed food is not fuel. It's engineered addiction. They literally engineer that food in labs to keep you addicted. It keeps your body inflamed, it keeps your mind foggy, and your discipline weak. You're easier to control. Mindless shows, gossip feeds, outrage culture, it all lowers your vibration. So entertainment is made in that way too. You think it's harmless, but over time it conditions you to crave drama, avoid reality, and resist effort. You start preferring to watch other people's lives on Netflix rather than living your own. And when it comes to your input, you need to audit what enters your mind. Podcasts, books, videos, are they actually building you or numbing you? Choose content that actually sharpens your mind, strengthens your mission, and upgrades your identity. Every habit you repeat is either programming you or freeing you. Habits don't just dictate your results, they dictate your beliefs. And when you break promises to yourself, even small ones, you lose trust in your own word. So build a morning routine that anchors you before the chaos of the world creeps in. Even 30 minutes of just solitude, silence, movement, and clarity will change your entire trajectory. Momentum doesn't come from motivation, it comes from action. So pick one keystone habit like journaling, walking, going to the gym, or cold showers and execute it no matter how you feel. For me, specifically, it is going to the gym. That is one thing I do every single day or try to do every single day. Sometimes, of course, life happens, gets in the way, and I miss it. I'm a person too. But for me, the gym is my keystone habit. No matter what, I try to go to the gym. If nothing else happens in my day, I will be going to the gym. So when it comes to your surroundings and environment, your surroundings shape your behavior more than your willpower ever will. If your home is a shrine to distraction, you will fail by default. So design your space to actually serve your goals. Make good habits easy and bad habits hard. So remove temptation. Don't rely on discipline. If the junk food's in your kitchen, it will win. Always does. It always does. If your browser remembers the porn site, it will call you back. Eliminate the decision point. Minimalism isn't an aesthetic thing, it's a strategy. Less clutter, fewer tabs, fewer distractions, more focus, more calm, more power. So, another thing you should do is stop identifying as someone who tries to be disciplined. I hear that all the time from people. You're either a sovereign human being or a dopamine puppet. You don't kind of want to take control. You either take control or you don't. Now, when it comes to your standards, raise them. You don't scroll all day, you don't poison your body, you don't consume junk content, you don't make excuses. That's not who you are anymore. When you say no to distraction, you say yes to purpose. Every small win compounds into self respect. And eventually, discipline becomes your default, not your struggle. Now, distraction is the new slavery. Discipline is the new liberation. Real freedom is doing what you said you would do when you said you would do it, whether you feel like it or not. That's ownership and that's maturity. When you're not pulled in 1,000 directions by things that don't matter, your nervous system relaxes. Your brain clears, your life gets quieter, richer, and more vivid. In that space, you don't just become more productive, you become more powerful. You finally see what actually matters, and you finally hear your own voice again. So once your mind is clear and your impulses are no longer in control, you finally have the focus and discipline to build something real. And the first thing that needs to be rebuilt is your income, because financial freedom is what will turn that internal clarity into external leverage. So let's talk about financial freedom. Now, without financial freedom, every other type of freedom is just a fantasy. If you're still relying on a paycheck from someone else, you're still owned by the system. It doesn't matter if you make six figures or minimum wage. If someone else controls when you get paid, how much you get paid, and how long you have to work for it, you're not free. You're just better compensated for your cage. Most people stay trapped not because they love their jobs, but because they fear what happens without them. That fear breeds quiet desperation. It wears you down until you stop dreaming entirely and start justifying the very prison that's draining your energy. Financial freedom isn't a pipe dream. It's not reserved for the ultra wealthy or the hyper lucky. It's a strategic outcome that you can engineer once you understand the rules of the game and stop playing by someone else's. So, if what you do for money can't be done online, you're still shackled. Physical jobs, no matter how noble or skilled, come with walls. Geography and scheduling dictate everything. But when you build an income that's entirely internet based, you unlock leverage, scale, and flexibility instantly. So, remote work isn't just about working in pajamas or traveling, it's about unshackling your income from a physical location so that your earning power is no longer determined by where you live, who you report to, or how long you commute. So, the world runs online now, and you can just accept it. We live in the world of AI. Most of the people watching this channel probably already know this, but still, the world runs online. Businesses live and die by their digital presence. If you offer something valuable in that space, you're never without options or opportunity. So you don't get to be free without learning how to make money on your own. And the first step is learning a remote skill that has high market demand and low entry barriers. This doesn't mean going back to school. It means choosing something real, useful, and monetizable that you can learn within 30 to 90 days and improve over time. And you've got thousands of options nowadays. You can become an appointment setter, you can become a closer, you can become a video editor, you can become a copywriter, you can become a virtual assistant. These aren't hobbies. These are real remote revenue generating skills that businesses are already desperate to pay for. So, for example, with appointment setting, you can start with zero experience and still get paid just for booking calls. If you can message, follow scripts, and handle objections, you're valuable. Or if you can dial people on the phone. With closing, usually to become a closer, you would first have to be an appointment setter most of the time, unless you've done some closing in the past. With closing, you can learn how to sell on the phone or Zoom, and you can command commissions that far exceed salaries. You control your income with your words. Video editing, with content exploding online, skilled editors are in constant demand, and you help brands and creators stand out, and you can do it from anywhere. Now, copywriting, for example, if you can write words that sell, or at least learn how to write words that sell, you'll never be broke again. Every business needs copy. Emails, ads, websites. Copy is the backbone of online commerce. And a quick tip on copywriting, because I used to do it back in the day. If you want to learn copywriting real quick, read all the top books on copywriting and start writing copy for imaginary products. This is what I did in the beginning. I literally would look around my house and try to find something in my house that I would write copy for. And then I would just write copy on Microsoft Word and just literally sit down and write copy for that product and try to make it sound amazing. And I would sometimes on purpose pick products that weren't exciting, like a fan or something like that. With closing, if you want to learn closing, by the way, link is in the description. You can book a call with us. Appointment setting, same thing. I would just go out and just start trying to close. Or I would just call my brother up and be like, can I practice this with you? Can I practice this pitch? Can I practice this objection handling framework with you? And so on. So if you're serious about freedom, eventually you must build your own. Freelancing is good. Once you have acquired that skill and once you have worked with somebody else and made some money online, it's now time to build something of your own. Freelancing is good. Employment is fine as a stepping stone, but the moment you own your own thing, your own offers, your own clients, your own income, you step into true power. So the best business to start when you're broke but hungry is an online service-based business. You can literally start with zero. You don't need capital. You just need a skill, you need some hustle, and you need some clarity. The fastest path to cash is providing services that solve problems and ask a lot of money for them. It's lean, it's simple, and gets you in the game fast. Coaching, consulting, copywriting, video editing, graphic design, funnel building, email marketing. These are the trenches. These are the games where the winners play. So you can sell your skill as a solution, not a service. Don't just offer editing, offer content that actually converts. Don't just do design, offer branding that makes money. This mindset shift puts you in a different pay bracket entirely, actually solving problems and actually packaging them in an attractive way. Now, once you've got a skill and clients, you need systems that scale. Set up lead generation, sales, onboarding, and delivery processes that don't rely entirely on your presence. Hire virtual assistants, editors, setters, and contractors to buy back your time. The goal is to build income streams that don't collapse the moment you take a breath. And then build relationships, not transactions. Happy clients will refer more clients. Repeat business scales your income without scaling your workload. And money is not the goal. The freedom that money creates is the goal. When you earn your own income remotely, you decide your hours, your clients, your priorities. You're no longer waiting for permission to live your life. Financial freedom doesn't mean you stop working. It means you stop working out of fear. And this is the thing that most people don't understand. Believe me, if you just stopped working, you'll feel depressed in a month. You work by choice, not obligation. You work because you want to, not because you'll sink without it. With financial pressure off your chest, your mind opens. You start creating, dreaming, expanding again. You wake up to possibility instead of waking up to survive. Escaping the matrix starts with learning to earn outside of it. This will take work. It will take sweat. It will take time. Another point on this is, what's your alternative? It will take sacrificing comfort now for freedom later. It's hard, but it's doable. Thousands of people are doing it every day. You just need to stop looking for guarantees and actually start building skills. And just start. Pick one skill, learn it deeply, sell it confidently, build systems around it. That's the playbook. Don't complicate it. When money is no longer a leash, everything starts to shift. You get to choose how your day looks. You get to say no. You get to travel. You get to pause. You get to think. You have time to take care of your body. You have space to repair your mind. You get to be the best version of yourself instead of a burnt out version of someone else's expectations. This is when you stop reacting and start designing. Life becomes a creation, not a reaction. And once the money part is handled, it's time to reclaim the one thing even more precious than cash: your time. So, time freedom is most likely the real reason you want money in the first place. You don't want money for the paper. You want it for the ability to wake up without an alarm clock, to spend your mornings however you want, and build a life that isn't run by obligation and deadlines. Most people make the mistake of earning more and working more, and they hit new income levels, but their time is still owned, scheduled, and sold. That's not freedom, that's just a fancier cage. True freedom isn't about not working, it's about owning your time. It's about choosing when, where, and how you spend your days. When your time belongs to you, everything else starts to click. Your health improves, your relationships deepen, your creativity returns. Now, the goal is to own your calendar, not fill it. Every hour you control is a piece of your life you've reclaimed. This means saying no to busy work, toxic clients, unnecessary meetings, and pointless errands. If you don't know where your time is going, someone else is deciding that for you. So start tracking and start auditing and start eliminating. Freedom isn't chaos. In fact, the most free people have the most structure. But the structure is built around their goals, energy, and lifestyle, not someone else's deadlines. So, systems save your time without sacrificing your income. Automate anything that doesn't require your personality or creativity. Use software to handle onboarding, scheduling, email follow ups, customer support, and file delivery. And sell assets that don't require constant time input. That could be a mini course, a template pack, a digital product, or affiliate offers. If you can create once and get paid repeatedly, you're winning back your hours. So eliminate the friction that eats your day. Shorten your workflow, remove unnecessary steps. If something takes 5 steps now, figure out how to make it take 3. And outsourcing isn't a luxury, it's a weapon. Hire people to handle the things you hate or suck at. This doesn't have to be expensive. You can start with a part-time VA, a freelance editor, or a contract designer. And every task you delegate gives you more hours to focus on things that actually move the needle, like building your brand, closing deals, or developing offers. Stop trying to do everything. You're not the best at everything, but if you spend your time only doing what you're uniquely good at, your business will grow faster and you will enjoy it way more. So you can't protect your time if you don't respect it. Stop being constantly reachable, close your DMs, block off your mornings, turn off notifications. People will respect your time as much as you do. And this is a big thing that I realized myself. People didn't respect my time because I didn't respect my time. So people will only respect your time as much as you do. And build work hours that work for you. That might mean deep focus from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. and freedom for the rest of the day. Or batching client calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays only. And the key is intentionality, not default. So make space for life between the work. Hike at noon, take Fridays off, cook a real meal, sit in silence. Don't just escape the matrix financially. Do it energetically as well. You don't find time freedom, you architect it. Decide what your ideal day actually looks like. Without this clarity, you'll default to grinding for no reason. Build your business model around that vision. If you hate calls, don't run a call heavy business. Or if you do, hire people to do the calls for you. If you love mornings free, don't take coaching clients at 8 a.m. You're in charge of how your life is built now. That's the gift and the curse of freedom. No one's coming to fix your calendar. That's your job. So, time freedom needs to be protected just like income. Every few weeks, step back and ask yourself, is my calendar reflecting the life I want, or have I started overworking again in disguise? Cut, tweak, refine, keep simplifying, keep eliminating, because the more you grow, the more requests you'll get. Your job is to guard your time even more fiercely as your value increases. Some seasons are grind heavy, and that's fine, but they should be chosen, not imposed. And they should always lead back to more freedom, not more entrapment. Time freedom gives you what money alone never can. You can actually enjoy a meal. You can actually take a walk without checking Slack. You can be fully there with your kids, your partner, yourself. With time freedom, you finally have space to think, to dream, to try new things, to reconnect with the parts of you that got buried under the grind. And without time freedom, you will burn out, no matter how much money you make. But with it, you can keep going, you can keep growing, and actually enjoy the life you're building. So once your time is your own, the next obvious question becomes, where do you want to spend it? So when you can earn from anywhere, you no longer have to live anywhere you don't want to. Most people are stuck in a specific city, a specific house, and a specific routine, not because they love it, but because that's where their job is. Location freedom severs that cord. It breaks the chain that ties your income to a zip code. Once your income is remote and your time is yours, location becomes a choice instead of an obligation. You can live in the mountains for clarity, the beach for peace, or bounce between countries because the world becomes your playground. Location freedom isn't about becoming a digital nomad for Instagram clout. It's about never again being told where you need to be in order to survive. That kind of autonomy rewires your brain. You stop living reactively and start moving with purpose. Your life becomes lighter, faster, and more flexible. So, when you can work from anywhere, you naturally reduce the clutter that weighs most people down. You stop needing a giant apartment filled with unused furniture. You start valuing mobility over material. You learn to run your business from a laptop and Wi Fi, and this forces you to streamline everything. You remove what doesn't matter because you have to, and in doing so, you create more space for what does. You become agile. You can book a flight on a whim, chase good weather, visit family across the globe, or attend an event with a 48 hours notice without asking permission or arranging for time off. Location freedom is strategic, not accidental. You don't magically become location free by chance, you become it by designing your business, your systems, and your responsibilities to not require your presence in one spot. So it's intentional. So you need tools that work anywhere: a powerful laptop, cloud storage, project management software, and payment systems that don't care where you are physically. And you need strong routines and structure so that changing environments doesn't disrupt your workflow. Chaos doesn't make you free. Discipline inside freedom is where the magic actually happens. And I want to kind of stop here for a second and just make a little point here. Constantly jumping between countries because you have location freedom can be a form of distraction. So you should be a bit careful with that as well. Just jumping and being a digital nomad a lot of the times is just another form of escapism and can be another form of just distraction. When we're talking about location freedom, we're talking about not being tied to anywhere. We're not talking about jumping from place to place all the time. It means that if you do choose to move, you have the ability to do so. So the world is full of places that offer more for less. If you earn in dollars but spend in pesos, baht, or rupees, your quality of life can skyrocket. You can live like royalty in countries where your income stretches far beyond what it would in the West. Some places offer better weather, safer communities, healthier food, faster internet, and more welcoming people. Why limit yourself to one spot just because it's familiar? Living in different places expands your worldview as well. You experience new cultures, you meet new people, and get exposed to ideas and perspectives that shift how you think and who you are. Location freedom without discipline, though, is just distracted drifting. So you still need routines, you still need priorities. Freedom doesn't mean flakiness, it means choosing where you work, not whether you work. Just because you can work from Bali doesn't mean you should party every night and skip your commitments. Travel enhances your life, it doesn't replace the work required to maintain it. And the goal isn't to become a wandering freelancer with no roots, what I just said earlier. The goal is to become someone who can work, live, and thrive from anywhere without the world falling apart when they switch locations. And ironically, being able to go anywhere often deepens who you connect with. You meet people on similar paths: builders, creators, adventurers. Location freedom puts you in rooms with people who think bigger, live louder, and move differently. You build global friendships. You form bonds with people from different backgrounds. You stop thinking like a local and start thinking like a global citizen. When you surround yourself with people who also chose freedom over comfort, you start to normalize ambition, flexibility, and growth. And so you can live in one spot or many, stay still or stay moving. You can choose to have a home base and still travel when you want. Location freedom doesn't mean you have to be constantly moving, it means you're not forced to be anywhere. This is what I meant earlier as well. You can chase summers around the world, you can work from cities, nature, or cafes in Tokyo. The options multiply once the location barrier is gone. You control the rhythm: fast, slow, local, global, it's all up to you. That control is what gives the lifestyle its strength. You begin to live in environments that match who you are. Maybe cities drain you, maybe nature revives you, Maybe the ocean calms your nervous system. Now you can live where your body and mind feel best, not where your job is headquartered. Your environment shapes your thoughts, and when you change your scenery, you often change your mindset, your goals, and your clarity. You're not just chasing location independence, you're chasing resonance. You're chasing environments that actually support the person you want to become. Now, each new place unlocks a different version of you as well. When you're constantly exposed to new places, languages, customs, and settings, you evolve, you adapt, you learn in a way that you can't learn from books, for example. You stretch your comfort zone until it becomes unrecognizable. You learn how to handle change. You become flexible, you become resourceful, and you build internal strength that people who never leave their hometowns might never touch. Eventually, you stop identifying with one country, one lifestyle, or one label. You become fluid. You become free, not just geographically, but psychologically. And once you can choose where you live and when you work, the next level is choosing who you allow into that life with you, because people can be anchors to specific places, specific times, specific versions of you, and that is not necessarily freedom. So, with that being said, next, let's talk about people freedom. It's not enough to earn what you want and live where you want if you're still surrounded by people who drain your energy and shrink your vision. People freedom means having full sovereignty over who you let into your mind, your calendar, your emotions, and your physical space. If you're still stuck taking calls you don't want, or entertaining conversations that go nowhere, or tolerating relationships that kill your momentum, then you're still in a cage. It's just a different kind. The people in your life either fuel your freedom or they feed your fears. There is no neutral. Every conversation, every relationship, every social connection is either building you or burying you. So once you get your time, money, and location back, the final layer of liberation is your social ecosystem. Because freedom isn't just about what you're doing, it's about who you're doing it with or without. So you become the people you spend the most time with, period. Most people are subconsciously shaped by the attitudes, ambitions, and assumptions of their 5 closest contacts. That means if you're around complainers, you will complain. If you're around builders, you will build. You don't rise above your circle, you reflect it. What your environment sees as normal becomes what you see as possible. If no one around you is making money online, traveling freely, or investing in themselves, then you'll start to feel weird for even trying. So you don't just need new strategies, you need new standards. And standards are contagious. Be around people who expect more of themselves, and you'll start expecting more from yourself too. Saying no is also a form of self respect. So is walking away. You get to choose who enters your space. You get to choose who texts you, who calls you, who gets your energy. Not everyone deserves access just because they've had it before. Sometimes you need to create distance before you can create freedom. That could mean stepping back from draining friends, setting firmer boundaries with family, or even leaving toxic business partnerships that no longer align. Cutting people off isn't cold, it's clarity. You're not required to maintain relationships that no longer serve the direction you're headed. That includes people from your past who don't believe in your future. And the right people amplify your momentum in ways you can't do alone. When you meet people who are walking the same path, it clicks fast. Conversations go deeper, support shows up quicker, you feel seen without having to explain yourself constantly. Being in proximity to high standard people speeds up your own progress. You start moving faster not because you're pressured, but because you're inspired. You get exposed to ideas, resources, and shortcuts you wouldn't find on your own. And you'll know when you've found your people, you'll feel it. It's not about status, it's about shared values, similar interests, similar mindsets, and mutual hunger for more. In order to do that, you have to actively build your tribe, not passively inherit it. So go where the people you want to become like already gather. That could be online communities, masterminds, retreats, or co working spaces around the world. Don't just take, give. Share value, be someone others are glad to know. The more you contribute, the more your network compounds in depth and quality. And building aligned relationships doesn't happen by accident. Follow up, stay in touch, schedule real conversations, make connection a priority, not a byproduct. And look, people of value will only connect with other people of value. So make sure you become valuable. Make sure you can bring something to the table. Sometimes people freedom means embracing periods of intentional isolation. Silence helps you hear your own voice again, and it allows you to process what you've left behind and what you're moving towards. When you step away from constant input, you get clearer on what truly matters to you. You stop parroting others and start owning your own decisions. Learn to be alone without being lonely. That inner strength makes you less likely to settle for the wrong people just to avoid being by yourself. And real support doesn't look like validation, it looks like challenge. You need people who push you, who call you on your excuses, who won't let you play small. Surface level friendships won't take you where you're trying to go. High level peers hold you to your word. You say you're launching something, they ask when. When the day comes, they ask you, did you launch it? You say you want to quit your job, they ask how. They don't let you off the hook. They also remind you of your potential when you forget. They see your blind spots, but they also reflect your brilliance. They make you better just by being around. So your attention is sacred, and people can be thieves. Energy vampires don't always look like enemies. Sometimes they're just bored, unambitious, or negative by habit. They don't have to have malicious intent. Sometimes it's just the way they are. Most of the time, it's just the way they are. Most of the time, people don't have malicious intent. Most of the people that are energy vampires or thieves don't necessarily have malicious intent. They are not even thinking about that. Some of them might even like to be around you, but they themselves are unambitious, bored, or just negative by default. And they'll steal your focus, they'll steal your mood and your drive if you let them, sometimes even unconsciously. So be ruthless about protecting your peace. If someone drains you every time you interact, that's not just annoying, it's expensive. Time and energy are your most precious currencies. Your vibe is real, and you can't hold a high one if you're constantly surrounded by low frequency people and chaos. Audit often, cut fast, and elevate relentlessly. When you surround yourself with the right people, your potential multiplies. The right group doesn't just change your behavior, it transforms your identity. You stop saying, I hope I can, and start saying, of course I will. You discover new ways of thinking, being, and creating. You realize you were playing small simply because you hadn't seen what was possible yet. High quality relationships stack. They build on each other. One powerful conversation leads to a new opportunity, which leads to a collaboration, which opens the door, and over time, your entire life changes. Now, I also want to say something here. By the time you actually find people like that, you might feel very lonely. There are periods where you'll have to cut off a lot of people, especially after going through this training, for example. You might realize that you need to cut off a ton of people from your life. You might realize you need to cut off certain family members or talking to certain people or people that are in your family but you're no longer connected. You might realize that, a lot of your friend circle needs to be cut off because they're just negative or complain all the time and don't bring you anywhere. And you might at some point start feeling lonely. You might feel alone because you've cut off so many people. Remind yourself that you're doing it for a reason. Remind yourself that the right people will only come if you make space for them. The right people won't come in your life when your life is busy with the wrong people. You don't have all that space and time when you're surrounded by the wrong people. The right people won't arrive if it's full. So once you're surrounded by aligned people in aligned places, doing aligned work, everything starts to feel lighter, faster, and more effortless. Now that your distractions are cleared, your income is yours, your time is reclaimed, your location is untethered, and your circle is aligned, you're no longer surviving, you're fully able to create. This is where freedom stops being the goal and starts becoming the fuel. Now you're finally ready to build something that actually matters. So let's talk about purpose alignment. So freedom without direction leads right back to slavery. If you don't fill your time, energy, and money with something meaningful, distractions will come back to fill the void, and they'll come back louder, stronger, and more seductive than before, especially if you have the money for them. Without purpose, you'll start drifting. You'll sleep in longer, scroll more, slack off, and slowly slip into a passive, reactive existence, even if you're technically free. That's how people become lost after getting everything they thought they wanted. Purpose gives freedom meaning. It takes all your discipline, time, and energy and points it towards something bigger than you. Without it, you'll always feel like something is missing because it is. Purpose is the compass that guides your energy. When you know why you're here and what you're building, decisions become easier. You don't chase shiny things, you chase the next step on your mission. Purpose helps you prioritize. You stop wasting time on low impact activities, you stop entertaining conversations that don't matter, and everything aligns around what you're here to do. And it's not about complexity. Purpose can be very simple. build something, help people, solve a problem, express truth. It doesn't need to sound impressive, it just needs to be real. Purpose doesn't push you, it pulls you. When you're tapped into your mission, you don't need motivation tricks. You wake up with fire, you push through resistance, you move forward even when it's hard because you care more about the outcome than your comfort. And you'll hit walls, you'll get bored, you'll face resistance. Purpose is what keeps you going when the novelty wears off. It makes you durable. So the right purpose makes you feel like you can't not do it. It nags you, it pulls you, it consumes you in the best way. You feel alive when you're working on it and dull when you're not. Purpose rewires how you see yourself as well. Once you truly believe you're here for something specific, you stop tolerating the things that don't fit. You elevate your habits, your environment, and your energy to match the mission. And purpose gives you something to protect. You're not just avoiding distractions now, you're guarding something sacred. Nothing builds self respect faster than living in alignment with your purpose. You become grounded, you become centered, you become unshakable. No matter who talks to you, no matter what they say, you're unshakable because you have something you're aiming for and you don't care anymore because you have something bigger than anything else that's happening. Your purpose is built, not found. You don't find your purpose by thinking about it in the shower or journaling for years. You find it by doing, trying, creating, and experiencing. This is what people misunderstand. They think purpose just comes. They think they just wait. If they just wait for a few months and take some vacations or take a sabbatical, their purpose will appear. That's not how it happens. You'll find it by doing, trying, creating, and experiencing. Purpose reveals itself when you listen to what energizes you, what challenges you, and what other people thank you for. Follow these clues. Your purpose isn't fixed, it will also evolve as you grow. The same way you evolve, your purpose will evolve. What matters is that you're in motion, building towards something instead of floating through life hoping it will click. And purpose always involves others. Your highest purpose will never just be about you, it will always extend outward. You'll solve problems, you'll help people, you'll create something that outlives you. You'll realize your freedom wasn't just for your own benefit, it was to be a leader, a creator, a guide. You got out of the matrix so you could help others escape it too. And when you live on purpose, you cause ripples. You inspire people without trying. You attract aligned relationships, you attract clients, and you attract opportunities because people can feel your clarity and they want to be around that. Now, purpose also creates internal alignment. You feel less friction, you stop second guessing every move, you're not split between shoulds and wants, you're integrated. Things move faster, work gets easier, ideas hit quicker. Purpose creates a rhythm that feels both energizing and calming. You stop chasing, you start building, you feel deeply rooted in your path, and you know it's the right one, even when it's hard. That peace is rare and it's priceless. So you're not just here to exist, you're here to imprint. You're not here to just get by or retire comfortably. You're here to leave a dent, a mark, a shift, something that says you are here and you gave a damn. Your purpose becomes part of what you teach, what you share, what you embody. It becomes your gift to others, even after you're gone. And at some point, you'll realize that success is hollow without significance, and purpose fills that gap. It makes everything worth it. And when you live with purpose, when you chase your purpose, you give the people whose purpose was you purpose as well. By that, I mean your parents, your family, people that loved you and still love you, people that you were their purpose. Now they have a purpose too because you're chasing yours. So you already know deep down what you're meant to do. The whispers have been there for years. You've ignored them, buried them, or delayed them, but they haven't gone anywhere. You won't feel ready. You won't have a perfect plan. But the moment you start walking in the direction of what feels true, life starts unfolding in ways logic can't predict. So your freedom has a cost, and that cost is responsibility. You have everything you need now. The next step is to use it for something bigger than yourself. So, with that being said, let's go over what we talked about. We went over the overview. We talked about distraction freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom, people freedom, purpose alignment. We are at the review right now. And finally, your action items for the day or the next few days. First, cut the cords to anything that steals your focus or weakens your will. Delete the apps, clean the diet, remove the digital clutter, and reclaim your nervous system. Clarity comes first before anything else. Then pick one remote skill and turn it into income. Turn income into systems and turn systems into time. Turn time into location independence. Stack the freedoms one by one through execution. Now, finally, once you have space, money, and energy, point it somewhere that matters. Anchor it into purpose and use your freedom to serve, create, teach, build, lead, or so off. Let your life become your mission. With that being said, once again, thank you for being here, and I'm going to see you in the next one.